Joining us now is Ojy Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Ojy.
Good morning, Dr. Vati. How are you?
You are shining as usual.
As usual.
Arise and shine.
Arise. We're all shining. Arise and shine, everybody. Good morning, lady in red.
Lady in blue.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I told Adesua earlier that she's not joking.
No, not at all.
After the program, she will tell me about market.
Everybody is getting the briefing. Rufai, good morning. How are you?
Ojy, I was eating a Ghanaian pepper called shito yesterday.
I know that, yes.
And I know you are hotter than shito.
Oh, goodness. I thought you were going to say something else.
Before some people come after you. Rufai.
Nobody, you're fine, Rufai. You're very
Ojy,
fine.
you are hotter than shito.
Adesua is here. Adesua is the one wearing pepper them dress.
Adesua left the studio.
Ojy.
Let's start what's
You
trending.
don't want me to say certain things on television?
No. Good morning.
Rufai, just be careful.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending in Nigeria. The former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, was involved in a motor crash that killed 2 police escorts on Tuesday in Edo State. According to Oshiomhole's media aide, the former governor's convoy was on its way to join the APC campaign train for the September 19th governorship election when a truck lost control and ran into the convoy, killing 2 policemen, while 2 other persons sustained varying degrees of injuries. The incident has prompted the All Progressive Congress in Edo State to suspend its governorship campaign to honor the 2 policemen who lost their lives. Well, our condolences to the 2 policemen that lost their lives yesterday at that tragic road crash. You know, there is obviously a call for investigation at this point, which is what is rallying social media, because everyone is saying, I mean, what's the investigation for? But I'll tell you why, because there was a tweet from an account for the APC governorship candidate, Pastor Ize Iyamo. He wrote, "The circumstances of the crash were indeed curious and have left us deeply concerned, as the truck responsible for the crash, according to witness accounts of those in the convoy and other road users, appeared to have deliberately rammed into the convoy in what could be reasonably interpreted to mean an attempt on the life of Comrade Adams Oshiomhole." Adesua, your take on that tweet?
Yes. Where do I start from? In 2013, Governor Adams Oshiomhole was also involved in an auto crash. I would like to ask, was that also an assassination attempt? Not to sound insensitive, I mean, it is not something you wish for even your enemy to go through. But in this political season, I think we have to be careful with the rhetorics. The driver of the truck we heard died on the spot as well. So going by that analogy, are they saying that, you know, the truck driver committed suicide in order to commit an assassination on former Governor Adams Oshiomhole? So a lot of things are not adding up. But again, since investigations are going on, the first PRO just spoke about it. I don't know how this was all of a sudden an assassination attempt. But that is left for the security agents to conduct. Yeah. But I think that we have to be careful. We need to tone down these rhetorics during these election campaigns. People lost their lives. Our condolences with them, but I think there's just so much going on around these elections.
Dr. Bat.
Well, I mean, when I asked the police spokesperson the question, what they know, what they probably know that we do not know, it's deliberate. And it's good that you brought that tweet by Pastor Ize Iyamo, because all through yesterday there were speculations, concerns expressed that perhaps the accident in which Comrade Adams Oshiomhole was involved with his convoy could be an affirmation of the already established assumption that the election in Edo State is likely to be violent, and that there will be pre-election violence, as Yaga had pointed out in his pre-election observation report. But I think we should just go by what the police spokesperson has told us.
Yes.
That the Nigeria police is treating this as a road accident.
Yes.
And that a thorough investigation will be conducted. And that at the end of the day, should they find anything to the contrary, then, of course, the police would act professionally, do its job. And I think that the various stakeholders in Edo State politics should just take the word of the Nigeria police as stated this morning and not overstretch the interpretation or try to take the laws into their hands. Because the danger in the kind of interpretation that Pastor Ojy Okpe has given could be, in a sense, a form of incitement. Because if he suggests that the circumstances of the accident, he not being a policeman, appear curious to him, and that this may be an indication that this was an assassination attempt, it could be a subtle, careless way of inciting members, supporters of the APC to see this as an attack on their own political interests. And I think that, you know, Pastor Ojy Okpe should not have uttered those lines. He, as a political leader, should be more interested in peace. He should be more careful. He should avoid the rhetoric of hate that has become very dominant in Edo politics. The interest of all the politicians in Edo State should be the interest of the people of Edo State who need good governance, who need stability, who need peace. And I hope that no other political leader would capitalize on what happened to Comrade Adams Oshiomhole and make careless statements. But of course, people are very superstitious. At the superstitious level, when I was in the villa, we used to call it deflected arrows. So there will be people who are close to Adams Oshiomhole himself who will say that this is a case of deflected arrows. But we are on international television. We should not promote superstition.
Yeah, but you're right. A lot of our, people are quite superstitious. And while a lot of people agreed with the investigation, others, insist that it was a mere, accident. Let's just quickly take a tweet before we come to you, Rufai. One user, Dino Lasky, wrote, "Accident happen every day in our bad road. Hence, there shouldn't be tension simply because it was Adam's convoy. It could have easily been anyone else, but because there is an election, some would want to attribute the cause of accident as politically motivated." Rufai, your thoughts on that tweet?
I mean, the opposition, the PDP, they've made due commiserations to Adams Oshiomhole, and I'll formally also, I think I've done it a lot today, I'll also do it again, make due commiserations to the Nigerian Police Force and then Adams Oshiomhole on the lives lost. And we pray this never happens again. We pray for caution. We pray for safety, most importantly. I want us to calm the polity. I saw what Ojy Okpe did right. Let's not fan the embers of this, please. Nobody wants anybody dead. The beauty of democracy is that we can disagree on ideas. It doesn't mean both of them are both patriots. They want Edo State to move forward, but they have different ideas. That's just the way I see politics. So it's not a do or die affair. So let us calm that. Those that my heart will go out to are the families of the 2 police officers that lost their life today. Imagine those police officers going out just like another normal day, coming back to their families, their wives and everything, but they can't come back because they are passed today.
And 2 others are in the hospital as we speak. 2 others too in the hospital, that their families are praying for them to survive. And those are the people I want to focus my attention on in my comment today. Most importantly, do we have a welfare scheme, for those police officers? I'm just concerned about the fact that if their children will be taken care of for life, if the death of their father as a result of this will not, hamper the development of the children, that's my most concern. I think the Nigerian Police Force should do something, as regards it, that they are adequately taken care of and they can lead them on. And the 2 people in the hospital, we pray for the quickest recovery for them. We pray they don't suffer any life-threatening injuries and their hospital bills should be taken and everything that concerns them should be taken care of. Before politics, I tell you this, I'm a human being first, and I'm concerned when human lives are lost. And that's my greatest priority, even more than politics this morning. Good point, Rufai. May their souls rest in peace. Let's take another story. The Lagos State High Court has dismissed a preliminary objection filed by the University of Oxford, England, to challenge a 10 million naira lawsuit filed by a Nigerian lawyer. The lawyer Ojy Okpe, in his suit, alleged that the words mortgagee and mortgagor were wrongfully defined in the Oxford Dictionary, published by the Oxford University Press. He claimed that he was embarrassed and suffered a loss of reputation as a lawyer when he relied on the definitions of the words in the dictionary to offer legal advice. The lawyer asked the court to order the University of Oxford and Oxford University Press to pay him 10 million naira in damages, while Oxford University's defense lawyer urged the court to dismiss the lawsuit for being incompetent, stating that the lawyer did not comply with Section 97 of the Sheriff and Civil Process Act in issuing and serving his writ of summons. The defense further contended that Oxford University Press, which was joined as second defendant, was a non-juristic entity which could not be sued. The judge upheld the defense submission and struck out Oxford University Press from the suit. The judge, however, dismissed the objection, alleging that Mr. Okpe's lawsuit was incompetent, stating that his writ of summons was validly issued and service was lawful and regular. I mean, Adeso, when I read this story, I was like, a bit like shocked. Like, how is it that a lawyer is confusing those words and relying on those words for legal advice? I mean, they claim that in the Oxford Dictionary, right, the word mortgagee was a borrower, right? You know, in a mortgage transaction, and that the word mortgager as lender, well, in contrary, it's the opposite, right? Well, he said he reached out to the Oxford University, and, you know, Oxford University admitted that, you know, there was an error, right? But they refused to admit liability. They also told him that, you know, the dictionaries are all just made for reference points. And, you know, this is such a, you know, a strange situation. I mean, I don't know about you, Dr. Abati. I'm just very interested
in this because he relied on the dictionary.
Yes.
Well, we cannot comment on the details of the case.
Yes.
Since it is still before the court,
yes.
The hearing continues later. But the preliminary objection filed on behalf of the University of Oxford by Funke Adekoya, right?
Yes.
SAN, partially succeeded because the court also ruled that, you know, Oxford University, yes, but Oxford University Press is a non-juristic entity as claimed by the representative Adekoya SAN. Now, I think the bigger issue here is about language, the definition of language, the translation of language. Now, 31 years ago, I wrote a PhD thesis. Okay. One of the chapters in that PhD thesis was about language.
Yes.
And one of the things I was looking at is language as cultural signifiers, language as semiotics, as iconic symbols, in order not to be pedantic. The whole point is that language is very sensitive. How you define it, how you translate it, can have cultural, social, political implications. In this particular case, the lawyer is claiming that he suffered damages because he was misled by a dictionary. But in 1945, August 1945, we have a good example of what happened with the mistranslation of language, with the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What led to it was actually wrong definition of language. When the Allied powers, when they insisted that Japan should surrender or suffer consequences. Now, Suzuki, who was the prime minister of Japan at the time, gave an instruction in a word, a Japanese word, mokusasu. Mokusasu originally will mean, you know, no comment, or we withhold comment. But it also had another meaning. So when the media took that message from the prime minister, the way they interpreted it was like an affront to the Allies. And the Allies had said, if you don't pull back, we will attack you. Hence, you had in August 1945, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, one of the worst cases of armed conflict in the history of the world. So language is very sensitive.
Yes.
That's what I take from it. But in this case, it's business that is involved. But, you know, in some other consequences, it could lead to the loss of lives.
That it was just
Imagine
business, right?
how many people died in the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki because of a wrong interpretation of a word. But however, Oxford University is claiming in this instance that it cannot be held liable. Because if we interpret a word in a dictionary, it's for you to, sub-reference it and use it as you deem fit, and you cannot hold us liable. So it's a question of buyer beware.
I'm laughing because the list of damages he said he suffered. Let's not comment on this, but I found them quite interesting.
They're saying that it is liable, all of the accounts. Well, Rufai, I know.
Well, great point you raised, Dr. Abati, and I just want to further say language is quite critical, and it's really very important. I mean, they used to give us a clear example about this in French. I remember then. There are two words, que Dieu vous bénisse. Que Dieu vous bénisse means God bless you. And there's que Dieu vous blesse means, God does something injurious to you. So I remember then they used to make those distinctions that by just saying those words, it's really very important that you can just lose the understanding. It's right when you're speaking the new language or the like. So another very important instance they will give us is when we say petrol here, petrol means something else. It's not the petrol we know. It's not premium auto spirit. But what premium auto spirit means in French is essence. So if you say donnez-moi pétrole, like you forgot the word to say essence, then they could give you something else in your car rather than petrol itself that means essence in French. So those little things goes a long way in understanding languages, that you have to be very specific and you have to understand the context when it comes to languages like that. And it's really very important, especially when you're making the distinctions. I just wanted to put that point in.
Yes, but I mean, the Oxford University, I think this was a damning error, though. I mean, how is that possible that they, switched the meaning of those?
A dictionary is a living material.
Yes.
And that's why new words are always being incorporated.
But dictionaries
are always being revised and all of that. So, I mean, this has been pointed out. At the end of the day, we do not know what His Lordship, who is handling the case, will determine. But at least the University of Oxford has admitted the error.
Yes.
They will make the appropriate correction. But let's see how it works out, so that we don't constitute ourselves into a court here over the difference between mortgagee and
mortgagor. Well, let's take another story. A project by Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade, intended to boost tourism in the state, has come under intense criticism after a promotional video by the governor's special advisor on the project circulated on social media. According to the governor, the project, called Calas Vegas, located at the Twin Island in the state's capital, Calabar, will become the luxury destination for Nigerians who prefer to travel abroad for tourism. Some Nigerians on social media have expressed concern over the success of the project based on the failure of Tinapa, another tourist facility in the state valued at $450 million. Well, let's take a look at this video when the governor first announced the project in 2016 before we come back for a discussion.
We have committed to setting up a brand new city, which is a resort of some sort, unarguably going to be the most beautiful resort in Africa. It's been designed and tailored after the Cancun resort in Mexico. We're also looking at the Paris city and all the various islands I have taken my time to go through. We have decided, therefore, as Cross River State being the leader of tourism in Nigeria and indeed Africa, we want to set up a brand new resort city called Calas Vegas. Calas Vegas is located on the Twin Island off the Parrot Island in the Atlantic coast. And that's why I am here, right here inside this Cross River. So what you see at my background gives you a location not too far from where the governor's lodge is. I can actually see my house from here. That tells you that we're actually really a Cross River state. Indeed, construction work has started. We're building a fine, classic place. Instead of you to go overseas for holiday, you have Calas Vegas in Calabar to come spend your holiday. Why look for the dollar when you can spend your naira in Calabar? And everything you're looking for overseas is going to be here. We've ordered a special yacht which is coming in, and I'm sure in the next 3-4 months it will arrive. And that yacht will ferry people in and out of Calas Vegas. Calas Vegas can only be accessed by air or by water. It is on purpose so that we control traffic, but it's designed for high-end lifestyle. And I'm happy that Cross River State will be the very first state to focus on such sophisticated lifestyle to set up Las Vegas.
Adeso, Las Vegas. Let's go on a resort tour. I mean, I think it's an impressive project, but the point, it's been going on for a while now, right? I believe it was just this lady's promotional video that came back alive, and then people are saying, I mean, how can he try to construct this thing when, already there was a failed facility in his state? I mean, why don't you reconstruct that and focus on that first before you do this, amazing project? I think it's an amazing project, but whatever.
Amazing project. I see an elephant, and it's white in color. I don't know about amazing product. Yes, do we need to remind the governor of Tinapa? Despite it being a PPP, AMCON had to come in to help pay off some of those debts that the state, got into with the bank. So what was the market research into Las Vegas? Why go into this? Why not refurbish Tinapa and finish Tinapa, like you said? It's just too bogus for me. I'm sorry.
Well, one, a number of issues here. Tourism.
Yes.
So, in principle, it is in order for Ben Ayade, who is governor of Cross River State, to say that he wants to invest in tourism. Cross River State has a reputation for being a leading state in terms of the promotion of tourism. And the credit for that will probably go majorly to Donald Duke, who set up Tinapa, which is a tourist resort. Also, it attracted an investment of about $450 million. Film resort, water parks. It was even supposed to be a hub for Hollywood, Nollywood
film
productions. And at that time, it was really popular. Lee Elimoke, who succeeded Donald Duke, also tried to, sustain it. So, tourism, Calabar Carnival, Tinapa. Now, you have this young man, Ben Ayade, who is now governor. I see a breach in terms of continuity. One would have expected that ordinarily he would continue with where his two predecessors ended. But he seems to have a new vision. He says Las Vegas. He even has a special assistant in charge of this Las Vegas.
Advisor.
Which is, she's an advisor.
Yes, she's an advisor.
Whatever. And,
with over 100 of
who
them,
is the
I'm sure
lady
there are many.
who has now shown up
Yes.
promoting this Las Vegas? The question I will pose to Ben Ayade, what is this a part of? In the last few years that he has been governor, he has talked about kinetic crystallization. So is this a question of kinetic crystallization? He has talked about olympotic meriastasis, whatever.
Meristemasis.
Whatever. Is this an aspect of that olympotic thing that he talked about? He has also talked about Kabbalistic diversification. Is this part of a Kabbalistic diversification? Whatever it is, I don't think that this is a priority project for the people of Cross River State. The ordinary man in Cross River State will probably want more attention, paid to continuity in governance, paid to the spate of kidnappings that we're now seeing in Cross River State, targeted particularly at people who dare to criticize government. So, but I hope this will not be, as you pointed out, another white elephant project that will result in unnecessary waste. And I think the government also probably needs to pay more attention, not just to the security situation, but also to the COVID-19 situation, the unemployment situation in Cross River State. Instead of talking about Twin Islands, where he would spend $450 million on a project that may not even be completed within the tenure of his administration. The last time we made some critical comments on Cross River State, I saw I was being abused on social media. I hope that, the people of Cross River State will see that, we're making these comments in public interest, and that I can also claim to be a stakeholder in Cross River State, having spent my teenage years as a student at the University of Calabar.
Great Malabites. Refine your point real quick.
My point is, I'll not even narrow it down to Cross River State. I'll go beyond Cross River State. Africans in general, leadership, I don't know why we like white elephant projects
Right. Wait first.
that we can't sustain.
Depends on what he says.
I mean, when you go to, there's a place particular that comes to my mind, it's called Gbadolite. Gbadolite is in Congo, was the place that was the home of Mobutu Sese Seko. Spent billions in that project. In fact, the airport had one of the largest runways in the world. But today, the place is a waste. Total waste. All the monies that could have been used to improve the life of people of Congo, wasted in Gbadolite. Another instance I will give is the need to build big architecture. There's another one in the Notre Dame in Yamoussoukro, one of the biggest churches in the world. You know, was built in Yamoussoukro in Ivory Coast. When you go there today, the lift doesn't work. The Dame Notre Dame, the lift doesn't work. So when you check all over Africa, we have very big white elephant projects. The money can be used to ensure that an average young boy eats the akara he's eating every day for the rest of his life. That $450 billion, it can do a lot in Cross River.
Million
Dollars. It can do a lot in Cross River. Let's focus on the poor people in Cross River. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much,
thank you,
Ojy
Dr.
Okpe. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
I'll see you, great Malabites, tomorrow.
No, I'm going to Las Vegas.
I'm going to Las Vegas.
And that's all, viewers, on this edition of The Morning Show today.